all in all, something's gotta give, right? And so because of prep, my social life just kind of got out the door. Hey babes, welcome to another episode of my Olympia Prep series. We are now 5 weeks out, you guys, and I can't tell you guys how freaking excited I am for this to be over. Just kidding. But like, seriously, I have been so just caught up with this prep. To be really honest with you guys, this has been probably one of the most like difficult preps, and what was really frustrating was actually the first few weeks where, you know, there's like all this energy and I'm like, yeah, I'm like ready to kill it, and then school comes around and work comes around and it's just like, it's not so much like a physical exhaustion, it's more like a mental exhaustion that I just feel I'm just so caught up in this like school, prep, work, home, and you know, it's just cycle on, and the weight was just not budging, it was not moving. So I was getting really frustrated, and there were honestly times, you guys, where I've been like, I'm done, like just freaking give me like truffle fries, give me anything Max or something like that. And to be really honest, you guys, being on prep just, it kind of gets kind of lonely. It really takes a toll on your social life. And for me, I'm like, I have work, I have a personal trainer, I'm also a singer, I also am a full-time undergraduate student, and on top of that, I also have to do my training. I train 2 times a day, and I also got to do my prep stuff. So all in all, something's got to give, right? And so because of prep, my social life just kind of got out the door. You know, I was telling myself, Tyen, you just gotta calm down, you just gotta chill, you gotta do something for yourself, and you gotta go be social, go be young, go be free, go and date, go and meet people, you know? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a personal challenge to like go out and like date and like meet people, and preferably someone who's like not into fitness. And so I did, and it was interesting. I might have scared him. Anyway, if you guys want to hear this interesting story, please feel free to watch the rest of the video. In the meantime, so to not bore you with my face, I'm also gonna insert some footage of a workout that I did, and yeah, please go watch that for some fitness advice so we can, you know, balance the fitness and the juicy stuff. Make sure, if you haven't, please do subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And yeah, I'm gonna go into the story. Dating on prep. Story time! Sorry, give me a second. So the other day, I was at a gig, and after the show, there was this guy in the audience, and he came and talked to me, and he was like, oh hey, you know, you sang really well, you know, and then we were talking, you know, he seems like a pretty chill guy, he was kind of cute, and you know, we get into conversation, and he tells me that, you know, he's a lawyer, he really likes, you know, like really cool music. So I was like, oh, you know, this guy's pretty cool, like I don't mind, like, you know, going out again. So I was like, alright, you know, like let's go out. So last week, I didn't know that he was gonna ask me out. I was out for like a personal training session. So I was like, you know, in my yoga pants, I was in my you know, my trainer jacket and everything. And then he texts me, he's like, hey, you know, like, are you in town? Do you want to go meet up? So I was like, oh yeah, sure, like let's go meet for a dinner or something like that. Oh, by the way, at this time, he doesn't know that I'm like training for like a bodybuilding show or anything like that, okay? He thinks that I'm just like a personal trainer, you know, and he doesn't think that, you know, I'm on this like prep where I have to like, where I basically carry chicken breast and broccoli in my bag, right? So he takes me the location of the place, and I'm like, oh wow, this is a really nice restaurant. I'm like totally underdressed for this. But then he's like, yeah, I'm pretty chill, like I don't think there's a dress code. So alright, so rule number 1 when you are on prep and on a date, I gotta go research the place to see if there's food that you can eat. So, you know, I researched it, and then, oh, like there's halibut. So okay, like whitefish kind of goes with my diet. I can eat whitefish, and you know, I can, you know, like just lessen my carbs, you know, I can order off the menu, ask for, you know, less oil, less salt or something like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have halibut then. I meet him, and then we sit down for a dinner. And then when I get the menu, I realize they don't freaking have halibut. So they're like, oh yeah, we're out of halibut. And I'm just like, oh no, like, I was really looking forward to the halibut. In my mind, I was like, oh my god, that was like the only thing on the menu that I could eat. But thankfully, there was also another fish that I could order. It was like a sea bass. So I was like, oh, okay, that's like some special or something like that. So I was like, okay, I'll order the sea bass. And it was, I can't remember, it was like a really, really nice sea bass. Like sea bass in like garlic salt, truffle, like something, rosemary, glazed something. Anyway, it just sounded heavenly. Probably like the nicest fish that I could have at this point. So I was like, okay, I'll order that. So the waiter comes and I go like, oh, can I have the sea bass? But can I request for you to not use any oil? And can I also request for no salt? And also for the sauce to be put on the side. And yeah. And then she's like, oh, okay. And in her head she's probably like, girl, this fish is $68, like what are you doing? So I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just like really sensitive to like certain salts and oils, so I'm really conscious. And she's like, okay, sure, I will talk to the chef then. My date's just kind of like, oh wow, like, oh, you're really like health conscious. And I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just like really sensitive to like certain oils and certain salts and stuff like that. And then he's like, oh, okay, cool. So there's that. And then after that, the waiter comes with the food, and I see the fish and it's like really freaking oily, like it's really greasy. And I'm just like, oh, didn't I ask, sorry, I asked for no oil. And she's like, oh yeah, there's no oil. Okay, like, can I request for some like paper napkins, please? And then she's like, oh, alright. So she like takes like a bunch of paper napkins, and it's like not enough, right? Because I want to use it to like dab my fish. So like I go to the toilet and I go and grab like a stack of napkins, and I come back and he's like, oh, are you okay? And I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm really sensitive to oils, you know, and you know, I wanted to break out and everything, so you know, I gotta like pat my fish. So there I am, you know, taking the napkin, like patting my fish. And then he's like, oh wow, you must be really health conscious, yeah? And I'm just like, oh yeah, like I'm really conscious, like you know, oils really just, you know, they give me rashes, you know, I'll get an allergic reaction or something like that. So he's like, oh yeah, sure, fine, I understand. So like I'm dabbing my fish, I'm just like, get the oil out, I can't, these fats don't fit my macros. Guys, sometimes when I'm on prep, I forget that it's not normal to carry your weighing scale around with you. And like that's something that I do when I'm on prep, because when I'm out, I want to know specifically how much like portions and how much macros I'm taking in, because I track everything, right? I don't know, I think it's normal. Like if you're not going to, you know, make the effort to cook your food and bring your boxes of food out, then you know, you gotta make sacrifices. And you know, I just brought my weighing scale to be conscious of what I'm taking. So I took out my weighing scale, and he's like, oh, what is that? And I'm just like, oh, it's just my weighing scale. I measure my food. Okay, this is when he starts getting like kind of freaked out. He's just like, alright, like this is like next level, like this is not just like health conscious shit. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm really conscious about each and every gram of food that I put into my body. So yeah, so I carry around my weighing scale. And then he goes like, ah, wow, fair enough, okay. And I was just sitting there weighing my sea bass in front of him. So what I did was like, I took out like my Tupperware, because I always carry around like Tupperwares with me, because I always like finish eating my meal prep. And I decided to put like the excess 50 grams of sea bass into the Tupperware. Well, I wasn't gonna waste like expensive sea bass, right? And he's just like, what is that? I'm just like, oh, it's just like my Tupperware, like I use it to carry around like broccoli and like excess food for me to eat later. It's like, and then it clicked. I was like, okay, Tyen, this is not normal. The waiter comes by, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, no outside food, please. And I'm just like, oh, no, it's not my outside food. I just like carried like a Tupperware in case I couldn't finish my food. You know, it's not good to waste food, right? I eventually end up telling him, just, you know, I didn't really want to talk about like myself and about my fitness stuff. I wanted to learn more about, you know, what he does and what he's interested in. So, you know, I just like told him, oh, I'm like, you know, I'm like a bodybuilder, I have a competition coming up, you know, I'm into like fitness, and I do extreme sports of like bodybuilding. So these are the kind of things that I just do on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, all he said was, this is one for the books. After that date, he never called me back. He didn't even text me. It was just like oh, okay, hope you had a good time, good luck for your competition. So yeah, guys, that is why I can't date on prep, and why I don't date on prep, and also why I'm single. I hope to not end this video on like a sad note. I mean, it was just a date. It was just for me to get out of my head and like meet new people and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I just want to end off this video by saying being on a diet is really hard, especially in a social setting. And then there are all these social pressures, especially if your friends drink or if they love to eat out a lot. I can really understand that it's really so hard for you to stay on your goals. But it's totally fine to have fun with your friends, go out, enjoy your drinks, enjoy your food, and just look forward to those occasions. Make them special for you, and then balance it. If you know that you're gonna go out this weekend, make sure like the whole in your weekdays or the few days before, you're eating clean. So when you're out with your friends, you really have a good time. You enjoy your food, you enjoy the company. And also, if you have like a strict diet that you are sticking to, like I am right now, I want you to know that I feel you. It's super hard to stick to it, especially if you're a sociable person, especially if you want to go out and have fun. Know that, you know, you can indulge, but don't overindulge. So it's really about finding that balance for yourself, because you shouldn't have to sacrifice everything in order for you to reach those goals. Because remember, fitness is a lifestyle that we have to embrace. In my case, I am going on a competition, so I know now 6 weeks out, we got our weighing scale, we got our Tupperware boxes, and we got... Just kidding. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.